The translation of the document titled The Lustrous Volcanoes of El Salvador has examples of both calque and literal translation techniques. Viewing the document, you can see in red is calque and text in blue is literal translation. With regards to calque, it is a word or phrase borrowed from a source language that is translated word by word into the target language. When translating using calque, a new lexeme is created. Since it is a copying technique that takes a phrase or word and makes it a new part of the target language. In the translation of this document, there are words and phrases that were translated using this technique. Here are some examples from the translation. In the English document, it said topographical signature, and that was translated using calque into firma topográfica. And it can be understood since we're talking about the geographical area of volcanoes in El Salvador. There is also the two words huella geográfica. In English, it was geographical footprint, in which footprint is directly translated into huella. They have the same meaning, but here would be huella geográfica. Then we can go down to marcadores geográficos, in English, geographical landmarks, y marcadores históricos, historical landmarks, in which marcadores was directly translated from the word landmarks. And we also have the word café, which is directly translated from the word coffee. It is a calque. We have a phrase in the second page of the document, which says, in English, woven into the fabric of Salvadorian culture and folklore. This phrase was also translated into Spanish, word for word, entrelazado en el tejido de la cultura y folclore salvadoreño. We have more translations down in the document, café and vistas, which is a loan word. And we have also storytellers that was translated into narradores de cuentos. In regards to literal translation, it is a word-for-word translation of a text from one language to another. It can be used when the grammar structure of both languages is similar. Here are some examples from the translation task. These examples only include when it was possible to do a word-by-word translation and none of the meaning of the text was in no way altered. For example, El Salvador, a menudo llamado Tierra de los Volcanes, is a literal translation. Also, este país centroamericano alberga más de 20 volcanes, muchos de los cuales han sido esculpidos de la... Then we stop because historia, geografía y cultura de la nación is in a different order. So it would not have made sense. In the second paragraph, we have las cenizas de estas erupciones. Y we also have que luego sustentaron la agrícola, particularmente de café. We were able to use literal translation because the word order is fine and the text has a meaning. You can understand the meaning. In this, there's another paragraph, maravillas naturales y desafíos, that the only thing that was literally translated was a part that says that atrae turistas de todo el mundo. That is a word-for-word translation. Then if we go down in cultura y mitología, there were some parts also that were word for word, like controlando los elementos y determinando un destino a las personas. And at the end of that paragraph, it says, ha acogido estos cuentos integrándola en la literatura y el arte y en el diario vivir, word for word. And impacto económico, there's also word for word, much of this paragraph. We have, el rico suelo volcánico es perfecto para cosechar productos como el café, que ha sido una de las principales exportaciones para El Salvador por décadas. Al mismo tiempo, las asombrosas vistas atraen una multitud de turistas cada año. That's where it stops word for word, because after that, the word order of the next phrase is, it could not be translated literally, which is reforzando la industria turística del país. And in conclusion, there's only one part that could be translated, a phrase that could be translated literally. dando testimonio de siglos de evolución, desafíos y resiliencia. And we could say a second phrase, la interacción entre estos majestuosos volcanes.